Hello everyone, I would like to introduce you to Basecamp. Basecamp is a web-based project management tool. Basecamp is an online versatile project management tool that can be used for business as well as technical projects. Basecamps make it easy for people who are working on a collaborative project to communicate and work well together. Basecamp has a 60 days trial version, and after the 60 days it is $20 per month for 10 people, $50 per month for 40 people, $100 per month for 100 people, and so on. After you sign up and log in, the first thing you may want to do in Basecamp is create a project. Before we create a project, I'm going to guide you guys through the 6 pages of Basecamp. First, we are going to start with the project page. A Basecamp project is a workspace where you collaborate with your teams and collect your discussions, your to-dos, your documents, and files in one place. As mentioned earlier, projects for Basecamp can be used for anything from building an app or just organizing any small task. You can click the green plus button to create a new project, or you can click the template link to create a project template. For a calendar page, we have a general calendar, and every project that has an event or a to-do with a due now date is also provided with a calendar. For the everything's page, we are provided with a collection of everything from all of our projects, as far as our discussions, our to-dos, our documents, or our files. Our progress page is a timeline of all of our projects. We see every update. It provides us with a timeline of every update that was made on every project. The everyone page shows everyone who are currently working on every project. In this page, we can provide superpowers or grant admission rights to anyone that we choose. The Me page is the most important page of them all. The Me page shows you all of your latest activities across all projects and all of your to-dos. You can view your to-dos in different categories. You can view the ones for today, for tomorrow, or all of them for this week. Now that we have seen all the different pages, let's get started on a project. We can create a new project by clicking on the new project button that is located on the left side of the project screen. By clicking on the new project button, you can create a project from scratch, or if you created templates, you can start a project using one of them. For now, we can start with the blank project. We can start by giving our project a name and adding our teams to the project. So we're going to name this project registration, and we're going to add our teams. First person we're going to add, our user. We also have the options to add the clients to the project. Once the client is added to the project, Basecamp lets you hide certain messages or events that is unfinished before getting the feedback from the client. But the messages or the events that are finished, you can allow the clients to see them to get a feedback from the clients. After naming and adding your team to the project, you are now ready to start the project. We can start our project by starting a discussion. We can fill people in on the project detail and get their feedback. Let's start by creating a project discussion. Project discussion. What are we going to discuss? Sorry about that. At the bottom of our discussion, we have the option to attach a file, and we also have the option to who to send a notification for this discussion. We can send email notifications to everyone that is working on the project, or we can choose to select specific people to send notifications to, or we can decide to not send notifications at all. For right now, we're going to choose to send everyone notification about the project discussion. Once the message is posted, a feed will be created for all messages that are posted in incoming messages. And now we have our first thread for our first discussion. Now let's make a to-do list. We can create tasks and assign them to people. So we're going to create a task called design schema. And our first to do is going to be identifying all entities. And we're going to assign this task to this first user over here. And every task that are dated appears on the calendar. And our due date for our task is going to be Wednesday, November 12th. We also have the option to attach a file to our to-do. So now we will create our to-do, and that will be our only one for right now. Now we have our first thread for our to-do. We can share documents and images at any time during our projects. We can either share them during a discussion or when creating a task, or we can just share them freely. And we also have the option to select who we want to notify about the files that's been uploaded. We can also use text documents to share our notes, ideas, and I actually create a progress report. And our team can edit the text documents collaboratively. If we have any upcoming events for our projects, we can create events at any point of given time. We pick a date for our event. We give the event a title. We can give it a time. We can even add a brief description. Gathering requirements. We can also create single day events or events that span multiple days. So we can have this events going from the 13 all the way through the 17. Repeats, we can either have it repeat every single day or every week. We're just gonna put it as no for now. And we can have who to get a notification for this email. For right now, we're gonna put everyone that's currently on the project. We're gonna remind one day before at 7 a.m. So once we add this event, we can clearly see that the email has been sent to everyone and the span of multiple days on the calendar. If our event date is not correct, we can drag and drop our event to any given date or any accurate date. And that is how we create our different threads for our project. As you can clearly see, we have our updates thread, we have our discussion thread, we have our to-do list thread, and then we have our text document thread. And as you can see, we have our note of the upcoming events pinned to the project page right over here, and we have the quantities of discussions, the to-dos, and all of the text documents also for that particular project. Now we can clearly see our registration projects over here. All of our projects are listed in alphabetical order, but we can organize them in any way that makes sense to us. We can view our project as a list, or we can view them as cards, or we can view them as both. Once a project is started, a project is at the very top of the page. Now we want to create project templates. We use project templates for projects you repeat over and over, so you don't need to start from scratch each time. The same way we created a project is the exact same way that we will create a template, where we provide a template with a title, with a project description, and when we invite people, we set who we want to invite in the template. So this is our first user for the template. So now I'm going to give a demonstration on how to invite clients to our projects or our template. As I mentioned earlier, when we're working with the client, we don't necessarily want them to see all of the works that is going on behind the scene. So what Basecamp does, it lets us create a client side to where to for our projects to keep things off limits to them. We can add clients to our projects or templates at any time during our projects. Once we click on the button, yes, turn on client access for this project, we will restrict them from certain parts of the projects that we don't want them to see. For example, we're going to add this person as a client to the template. So now this person is a client of the template. Now that our client is added to our template, let's try and create a to-do list. As you can see, once we create a to-do list, we have a checkbox for don't show this to-do list to the client. And if we was to check it, the client would not be able to see this to-do list. And if we uncheck it, the client will be able to see the to-do list. Your project setting page lets you archive, unarchive, or delete a project. When you are finished with a project, you can archive it for safekeeping. Archived projects can't be modified unless unarchived by the administrator. Sometimes we may not know where a file may have been uploaded, or we may be searching for a certain conversation that we had with a client. So Basecamp search lets you search through to-dos, items, and messages. As we can see, all of our messages that had either the subject or the word welcome in it is listed as a thread over here. When a person posts a message and the person receives the message via email, the person has the option to reply to the message via email. As we post this message, when we receive our email, if we don't want to log into Basecamp, we can reply back via email, and the message will automatically get posted on Basecamp, as you can see right over here. Thank you guys for taking a look at my tool. For any information that I did not cover, you guys can get this information from here. This link will provide you guys with every bit of information that I just covered, plus more and more details. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys found this very helpful.